service delivery. The Council of County Governors notes a significant reduction, good news, of maternal mortality in the country since the inception of devolution. I can need a few figures to prove that, but they are all written. It's all here. The success rate we shall give to the press. Healthcare financing. There has been improvement in the budgetary allocation to health in the counties from that 2.8 in the financial year 2020-2021 to 34.3% in the year 2021-2022, which has just ended. This is inclusive of funds received as conditional grants. Further, the conditional grants under the Transforming Health Services allocation increased to 3.9 billion from 2.6 billion. The overall absorption rate for the funds sent to counties since the first financial year of disbursement of 2017-2018 is very high at 89.5%. Well done. However, no disbursement of funds has been made in the current financial year owing to inordinate delay in approval and enactment of the County Government and Additional Allocation Act. And lastly, resources through Daninda support program. We see counties get an additional 701 million, that is 75% of this current financial year, with a condition of counties contributing 25%, which comes to 199 million as counterpart fund. Let's move on to COVID-19 management and response very quickly. During the last financial year, county government made huge strides in response to COVID-19 pandemic, including strengthening of medical oxygen supply. This was a job very well done, which saw installation of additional oxygen plants for one additional critical care bed and ramping of COVID-19 vaccination at the county level, resulting in 8,637,095 Kenyans above the age of 18 being fully vaccinated as at 29th June 2022. Quickly, let's look at the UHC update. In the scale-up phase of UHC, the national government set aside 8,637,095 Kenyans above the age of 18 being fully vaccinated as at 29th June 2022. Quickly, let's look at the UHC update. In the scale-up phase of UHC, the national government set aside 6 billion to provide health insurance to the first cohort of 1 million indigents across the country. Several county governments have also strived to match the national government's effort to co-finance for the indigents through communities initiated schemes such as Marwa in Kisumu County, Oparanya Care in Kakamega, Makueni Care in Makueni, among others, with the aim of reducing the burden of catastrophic expenditure in seeking health care. So far, 1,201,835 indigents have been identified across 47 county governments and counties, and 920,325 have been biometrically registered. Primary health care. As a strategy of accelerating the achievement of UHC, county governments are in the process of establishing primary health care networks to strengthen the referral systems and decongest the national level facilities. Currently, 13 counties are being supported by the development partners to establish primary health care networks. These are 12 of them: Turkana, West Pokot, Galiza, Samburu, Marsabit, Kisumu, Migori, Kakamega, Elgeyo Marakwet, Nakuru, Nairobi, Mombasa, and Kilifi. There are 8,778 community units, each with about 10 community health frontiers. The number of fully functional community health units are 6,191. The semi-functional ones are 2,239. And the non-functional ones are 348. We hope they will be functional soon. Human resources for health. Just 1 minute. Just a second. Human resources for health. There have been a tremendous improvement in the strengthening health services delivery by increasing the number of human resources for health. Financial year 2021-2022, 47 counties, all of them have accumulated employed additional 767 healthcare workers across the various candas to increase efficiency in the delivery of health services. Fellow Kenyans, delivering the promise of a responsive health system will require county governments to increase the investment even further, despite the limitations of the current physical space. This explains why some of us want to go to the Senate to make sure we reach the 35% threshold to the counties, mara moja. The council will work closely with the national government and the Senate to address critical issues, derailing service delivery, continuously advocate for sustainable and innovative healthcare financing, as well as provide platform for continuous sharing of information and the knowledge amongst the counties on emerging best practices in the devolved health sectors. What the counties need is more money. Otherwise, they have personnel which can handle the running of the health services. Fellow Kenyans, may now move on to another very critical sector to all county government, that is the finance. The Economic Survey of 2022 report indicates that the economy has recovered from the crippling effects of COVID-19 pandemic to expand the total projected revenue from budget implementation in the year 2021 and 2022 amounting to 467.7 billion, which consists of equitable share allocation of 370 billion. Additional allocation from both the national government and development partners, whom I wish to thank, amounting to 39.9 billion and projected own source revenue by the counties themselves, 57.8 billion. Out of this allocation, a total of 340.4 billion has so far been dispersed to the counties as equitable share equivalent to 92%. And Kenya sharing 16.8 million, which is 51% of the 32.34 billion additional allocation from development partners. As of the first 9 months of financial year 2021-2022, county governments generated a total of 27.09 billion from their own resource revenue, which was 46.1% of the annual target of 57.8. It was an improvement, Pongezi, compared to 25.52 billion generated in a similar period of 2020-2021. Well done, colleagues. Pending bills. This is the real elephant in the room. Counties continue to make commitments towards the settlement of pending bills, despite the constrained physical space. As at the end of third quarter of financial year 2021-2022, which has just ended, 43 counties reported partial settlement of historical pending bills to a tune of 15.12 billion. So let's go on. despite a slight improvement in this financial year, delayed disbursement of equitable share. May I repeat this because it's very important to my colleagues. Despite a slight improvement of this financial year, delayed disbursement of equitable share and additional allocation to the county governments by the National Treasury continue to be the major issue here, putting a strain in county governments' operations and implementation of the annual budget. This financial year, the situation was worsened by the late approval of county government's additional allocations bill of 2022 by both the Senate and the National Assembly to unlock funds flow. The implication of the perennial delays include, but not limited to, delayed settlement of suppliers eligible pending bills, leading to further accumulation of pending bills. 2, negatively affected service delivery to Kenyans. 3, delayed implementation and completion of development projects as we head into transition. 4, an absorption of budgets affecting the county's work plan for the ensuing financial year. The council wishes, therefore, to congratulate. Now, this is another issue here. May I now look at the issue of Laikipia, which was the first to get aboard. The council now wishes to congratulate the cabinet for approving Laikipia County's application to raise 1.16 billion through issuance of infrastructure bond. This follows the approval by the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council in its meeting in November 2021. The final and most word of congratulations is, of course, our colleague, Governor H.E. Muriithi Nderitu. Is he around? For spearheading the whole process which led to Laikipia County and its great people to be the first to qualify for infrastructure on board to pay back off so that we can follow suit. And I think KISII is in line. The objective of the infrastructure board is to finance implementation of projects, including provision of water for agricultural production and improvement of business environment by upgrading markets and town infrastructures, which will provide additional jobs to residents and improve their household income and livelihood. We now urge the Senate to approve the same to enable the county raise additional funds. Very good. I think now we are progressing. Let's now look at fellow Kenyans. May now turn to urban planning, housing, land, infrastructure, and energy. County governments and municipalities have been able to prepare integrated development plans, integrated strategy urban development plans also, and the county spatial plans. These are provided frameworks for urban development projects. This year, the council reports that one extra county, Bomet County, has approved their county spatial plan, and therefore 5 counties now have their county spatial plans approved. 23 other counties are at different stages of preparing their county spatial plans. In terms of urban infrastructure development, county government, through their respective municipalities, have greatly invested in urban infrastructure. It's a long line of what has been done, covering a lot of kilometers in municipalities, on tarmac, non-motorized transport, parking space, street lights, stormwater and drainage, sewer lines, and retail markets. It's a long list. Urban governance and sustainability. County governments continue to establish the strength and strengthen urban institutions. In the last 1 year, an additional 5 municipalities have been granted municipal charters, and therefore making the cumulative number of municipalities to be 4. Good progress. Building urban resilience. 5 counties have initiated the development of urban resilience strategies for 5 selected sites in Kenya: Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Eldoret, and Nakuru, which will be replicated to other municipalities and towns. This will enhance city management, adaptation to shocks and stretches. Municipalities are also developing resilient infrastructure projects aimed at addressing some of the climate change effects: urban, socio-economic development, and transport. The counties have also been seeing the construction of recreational parks, art innovations, and training hubs. These hubs are mainly targeting the youth to build skills that are key for their growth economically as well as building the nation. COVID-19 brought about a new shift in the management of transport systems in the counties. We are happy to report that over this period, counties have been involved in creating order in public transport, including bus stops, parking, route allocation, etc. etc. Despite these efforts, county governments continue to face the following challenges in the sector: lack of adequate financing, weak coordination of transport initiatives, missing road markings and all that, lack of regulations and control of motorcyclists, border, who are being rained on now. They're being rained on and they will shape up, I'm sure. The county government, in cooperation with the National Transport and Safety committees in each county, to oversee the management and regulation of the road transport system. Through these committees, county governments have managed to improve the road transport and safety. Energy. Energy is a power sector that has the potential to foster economic development. It is important to note that with the enactment of Energy Act of 2019, county governments have developed strategies and policy frameworks geared towards addressing their energy needs in a specific and more concentrated manner. This will cover wind energy, which has high enormous potential. 10 counties have set up wind masts, pongezi, in potential regions to collect wind data. In order to support future investment in wind technology. That's the future. Primarily, wind resource assessments show that wind regimes in certain parts of Kenya, such as Marsabit or Ngong and coastal region, can support commercial electricity generation as they enjoy wind speeds ranging from 8 to 10 meters per second. That's a potential which must be exploited. Counties have also made significant investment in renewable energy with an increase in wind projects from 6 counties to a total of 10 counties. We hope more will join so that we can develop that area. I will now fast track. To guide this process, the Council of Governors is in the process of developing an energy toolkit for county governments to fast track the exploitation of energy sector to the county level. May I go to trade? Fellow Kenyans, may I now turn to trade, investment, and manufacturing sector. This is a sector with a high potential for jobs and wealth creation. In this reporting year, county governments made a significant strides to revitalize trade and manufacturing sectors after the COVID-19 pandemic shocks. Counties have continued to play a critical role in supporting small, micro, medium enterprises through various initiatives. Cumulatively, county governments have registered 124,420 micro enterprises. 87,153 small enterprises, 34,727 medium-sized enterprises, and 8,191 large enterprises. This is tremendous growth, tremendous growth. And we hope now the new group which is coming in next month will now build on that. Will now build on that. That's okay. May I go to tourism? I'm now fast tracking. Tourism, natural resources, management. Fellow Kenyans, may I at this juncture address that sector, those three sectors. Starting with tourism. Tourism sector suffered more than any other sector due to COVID-19 and the resulting global economic recession. However, the measures taken by the national and county government in the last 1 year to contain COVID-19 and return to normalcy have resulted in favorable short-term and long-term impact on tourism industry. To revive the industry after the devastating impact witnessed due to COVID, 21 counties developed tourism and wildlife recovery strategies. The number of visits recorded in the county-owned tourism facilities was 249,050. A sign that tourism industry is recovering. There is enough evidence there. Legal structures and sound policy measures are enablers in the sector. Over the last 1 year, 19 counties have enacted tourism-related acts, policies, and regulations, while 7 county governments have enacted wildlife-related acts, policies, and regulations. 15 county governments have domesticated the National Tourism Blueprint of 2030 and the National Wildlife Strategy of 2030 respectively. To increase the tourism, 29 county governments have this far gazetted 196 tourist sites. Further, 27 counties have established at least one public recreational facility. 5 counties, Mombasa, Turkana, Migori, Kwale, and Baringo, have designated public beaches. 2 counties, Mombasa and Nyeri, have public theaters. 18 counties have public parks. 16 counties have cultural sites. 9 counties have public libraries. 11 museums. I think Mombasa is the only one with a cinema hall owned by the county. Cumulatively, the counties have 25 public beaches, 2 public theaters, 51 parks, 95 cultural sites, 15 public libraries, 18 museums, and 1 cinema. Hiyo inatosha kwa sasa. Water and sanitation. According to Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, every Kenyan has a right to clean and safe water. Inadequate quantities and reasonable standards of sanitation are part of the Katiba. In this regard, county governments have instituted several measures towards the water service provision, one being allocation of resources to the water and sanitation sectors, which amounts to 32.3 billion across all the 47 counties. We are on the right track. 28 counties have domesticated the national water policy and regulations. 35 counties have domesticated water-related acts and policies. 21 counties have also domesticated county water master plans. That is okay. Muendelee. There have been numerous interventions towards increasing access to water through harvesting and storage done by county government, with a total of 1,661 small dams constructed. Bomet County leading with a total of 600 small dams. Well done, Bomet. County constructed a total of 3,184 water pans, with Nyeri County leading with a total of 1,000 water pans. Well done, Nyeri. The construction of water pans has seen a decrease in the distance trekked to access water for the communities in ASA areas. Well done, ASA counties. KISII Maridadi. Environment. 34 county governments have gazetted county environmental committees, while 13 counties are in the process of gazettement. This was occasioned by the fact that terms of some of the county environment committees have lapsed, and counties are in the process of renewing the same. Many county governments, in collaboration with the NEMA, have made deliberate effort to strengthen enforcement units by training a total of 225 environmental officers. I was a beneficiary in Embu. An increase from 177 trained officers recorded last year. 152 of these, 225 are male. I don't know why they are doing that in this area. Solid waste management. With rapid population growth and urbanization, annual waste generation is expected to increase rapidly. These residents, especially the urban poor, are more severely impacted by unsustainably managed waste. To respond to this waste pollution challenges, the county governments have taken a leading role in delivering sustainable waste management through budget allocations of approximately 84 million to solid waste management, within Nairobi County having the highest budget of 2.4 billion. Well done, Nairobi. Legal structures and sound policy measures are enablers in the sector. To answer this, 28 counties have enacted the relevant acts, policies, regulations, and waste management, while 19 counties have domesticated the National Waste Management Strategy. 16 counties so far have designated 5 landfills in the country. Well done, Turkana, for leading the pack. Waste collection and transportation is made majorly through private-public partnership and also others initiated by the counties themselves. Finally, forestry and climate change. Counties have continued to promote afforestation programs and restoration activities to increase forest cover towards fulfillment of Kenya's commitment to 10% tree cover. It is in this context that county governments allocated an accumulative total of 440 billion, 756,123 in 2021-2022 towards forestry, to low carbon, resource efficient, equitable and inclusive socio-economic transformation. 39 counties have so far enacted climate change-related acts, policies and regulations, and action plan. County governments have developed climate change funds that promote mainstreaming of climate change adaptation into local planning and budget systems. The similar number of counties has also established fish markets, provide a basis to monetize fisheries and act as a means of livelihood to the local fishermen. County governments have cumulatively constructed 20 fish markets and registered 561 beach management units. A new department sector doing very well. Now, I don't want to be accused of not being gender sensitive. Fellow Kenyans, in spite of this long speech, I'm finally energized to address a sector of gender education, youth, sports, culture, and social services. This sector covers the majority of Kenyans' interests. The majority of the Kenyans must be supported. Each county allocated an average of Kenya shillings 189,120,455 towards the gender, youth, sports, culture, and social services sectors in 2021-2022. Very wise governors. You'll be you are not going to be re-elected, but you can go elsewhere. Gender and social services. Gender and social services, trainings and community awareness, creation of key gender issues, GPV, prevention and response programs, policy development, income generating activities for the men and women, including basis, purchase of assorted equipment, e.g. sewing machines, marking of international UN days, etc., women empowerment funds and grants. There were a total of 657,314 beneficiaries of key gender interventions in 36 counties. Gender, very good. With 289,146 men, yeah? And 314,419 women. At least they are more than the men. 15 counties have operationalized gender policies, while 20 are in different stages of the policy development. Additionally, 11 counties have operational gender-based violence policies and acts. Hiyo ni muhimu sana. Youth, the most energetic. Interventions included establishment of innovation centers such as Ishoro and Tana River counties, issuing grants to active youth groups, establishment of talent centers like Embu Talent Academy. It's not written, but I put it. Now, film hubs. No, it's there, it's there. I was just testing you, whether you are awake. The film hubs, Kware, Embu, and Bomet, Tukotu, income generating activities for the youth trainings and civic empowerment, development of youth policies, and purchase of assorted equipment for youth graduating from TVET. A total of 154 youth benefited from the various interventions in 32 counties, with 99,056 men, 82,687 women, and 10,411 PWD, people with whatever, benefiting. 20 counties have operational youth policies, bills and acts, while another 16 are in various stages. Now let's go to sports. But I'll not talk about football because you're already obsessed with it. Counties utilize allocations to purchase assorted sports equipment, sponsoring youth to participate in tournaments, participate in inter-county games. I was very happy to host all of you in Embu. Development of sports policies and acts, establishment and management of sports facilities, stadia, fitness centers. KISII County, for instance, has initiated a PWD wellness gym for rehabilitation and physical fitness for PWDs. A total of 38 sports facilities were constructed and 56 rehabilitated in 29 counties. 38 sports facilities. The youth will be very happy with you, gentlemen. Let's go now to the least department, which is mainly neglected, social services. Counties also utilize their allocations to purchase assorted PWD devices, markings of International Day on Disability, Social Development Grant, tracing and unification of sick children, corrective surgeries, development of social protection. A total of 143,223 people benefited from various social services programs in 32 counties. 18 counties have operational social protection acts and policies, 15 in different stages of development. 8 counties have operational children's act and policies, and 12 counties are in different stages. Culture ni muhimu. Counties utilized their allocation on establishment of cultural centers, observance of cultural events, facilitating youth to participate in drama, music, festivals, development of culture and heritage. There are 414 historical sites across the 47 counties, 414 historical sites. Additionally, 15 counties have World Heritage Sites. UNESCO recognized 15 of you. 15. Mujibia makofi. 11 counties have cultural related policies, acts and guidelines and regulations. Vocational training centers, counties have spent a whole 2.818 billion towards improving access and quality of training offered by the county vocational training centers. A 13% increase from last year of 2.477. Well done. Because as a future for the youth. There was 8% increase in the enrollment of vocational training centers, and that is well done. Adding more people in youth vocational centers. Early childhood development. Regarding the access and equity in pre-primary education, data for the school year shows that enrollment in pre-primary 1 and 2 went up by 0.4%. The increase in enrollment is attributed to increased incentives and investment, such as the school feeding program in the institutions and very modern classes, which are better than the ones in the upper primary. I've just added that. In the year, 4,164 public and 533 private primary centers enrolled special need education learners. The number of registered pre-primary schools increased from 46,652 to 46,671. A small increase, it's not very big. A total ECD teachers employed currently stand at 71,804. The total cumulative expenditure for pre-primary education across all the counties is 5.7 billion. That's the foundation of young kids. Bursaries and scholarship. So, to enhance the access to education at both pre-primary and vocational training levels, county governments allocated and dispersed 3.58 billion in full and partial scholarships and bursaries for deserving learners in pre-primary, secondary schools, and tertiary institutions. Kazi mzuri sana hiyo. Now, I'll take a very short time on this one. Legal, human rights, and intergovernmental relations. Fellow Kenyans, I wish to underscore the important role of the judiciary. The judiciary plays in protecting the Constitution and constitutionalism and the safeguarding devolution. The year under review experienced growth in jurisprudence stemming from the courts. This continues to cement the devolution and deliver to the people of Kenya the promise made in our progressive Constitution of 2010. The following judgments and rulings were delivered during the under review. I will only read the headings. Supreme Court Petition 25 of 2019. The Senate, National Assembly versus the Council of Governors, the powerful Council of Governors. The Council of Governors filed a case against the Senate and the National Assembly, challenging amendments done to the County Government Act, which sought to establish the County Development Board. Both the High Court and the Court of Appeal ruled in favor of the Council. Tujipigie makofi. Hiyo imetosha hiyo. Let's go to another one. Mayor petition of 2021. Aden Ibrahim Mohammed and others versus County Assembly of Wajir, blah, 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 blah. Following the impeachment of Wajiran government by the Senate on 17th. May I go to the judgment instead of reading the whole thing? The court held that the process of impeachment of the respondent violated the requirement of public participation and was therefore null and void. They should have asked me. The constitutional petition, Dr. Magale Gikenyi versus COG, the powerful COG. The petitioner found the petition against the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, SRC, the Council of Governors and all the county assemblies of the implementation of the current grants. The court dismissed another success. The petition, while holding that the petitioner failed to demonstrate that SRD did not consult stakeholders in reaching the embanked decision. There was no sufficient evidence presented to prove his allegation that SRC decision was not independent. Public participation. Public participation. Public participation through town hall meetings is one of the principal mechanisms for facilitating conversations. The project management committees approach being implemented in 12 counties where the citizenry decided up to 70% of the development budget, with the PMCs oversighting the implementation of projects. In conjunction with the county assembly, emerged as the best practice during the COVID-19 pandemic period in 2021. Sustainable development goals. County governments have continued to champion the implementation of the sustainable development goals. The county SDGs champions have undergone continuous capacity building to facilitate mainstreaming, tracking, and reporting on the progress of SDGs implementation. The county have embraced voluntary local reviews to support reporting on localization, building on their community's experience and practices. The county governments have also developed SDGs acceleration action plans to fast-track the SDGs implementation. I'm now fast-tracking knowledge and sharing. I don't want to tie you further. Knowledge and sharing. Simonajua Mariva Center. That's our creation. Through our Mariva Center, we have continued to document the success stories and innovations that emerge from the counties in the course of performing their functions. Knowledge management is slowly becoming a critical aspect of governance all over the world. Mariva Center continues to be the platform that promotes best practices, sharing, and peer-to-peer learning amongst county governments. I took over that governance to Greece, mara moja. The center has established itself as the only national repository for devolution knowledge. This is for posterity. In 2021-22 financial year, Mariva Center documented and uploaded 52 county initiatives from all sectors, growth, from 26. Governor Nairobi, pongezi, you are near me, pongezi sana. Nyamira County provides free medical insurance to vulnerable families. Well done, Nyamira. Currently, the center is developing tools that can enable to track up of knowledge assets and upload. One of your youth best practices in the counties, one on the youth best practices in the counties, and the second on how adopting good practices can be institutionalized to access information within the counties. On 28th of February of this year, Mariva Center launched the compendium of the county innovation and best practices on COVID-19 response. Well done, Secretariat. 13 counties were featured in the compendium. The Mariva Center has also developed the second edition of the compendium on county best practices and innovations covering the sector, such as health, gender, climate change, agriculture, and lands. Let it rest there. Partnership and charities, excellence governance, fellow citizens. I'm almost now coming to an end. I can see the end coming. Devolution's success story cannot be drawn without mentioning the contribution of the critical stakeholders whose support resulted in the milestone realized. I know you're holding your breath. To our state and non-state partners, your immense contributions in different measures are highly appreciated. The equitable share on its own would not have been enough for counties to deliver their mandate. The media has continued to tell our story and keep us in the check. But you don't report when I lose my speech. To the citizens of the Republic of Kenya who belong to different counties, thank you for allowing us to serve you. Your continuous engagement, expertise, experiences, and positive criticism play a key role in supporting county governments to deliver the so-called services. The so needed services. Challenges experienced, very briefly, I don't like challenges very much. One is continual delay of disbursement of funds, establishment of national institutions through policy, registration, corruption at all levels of government, through implementation. I don't like that very much. Fellow Kenyans, as I conclude, I want to reaffirm to you the devolution is indeed a game changer in this country, isn't it? Isn't it? Kenyans don't want anything else, they want devolution, ugatuzi. The gains of devolution are immense. And as we look forward to the next elections, I urge the citizens to ensure that all aspirants are defenders of devolution. I now call upon my fellow excellency governors to proceed and deliver the state of the county address in their respective counties. Lakini iwe shorter. Long live the 48 counties, governments, and one united Kenya nation. May God bless all Kenyans. May God bless Kenya. Thank you for listening to me. Asanteni sana. Asante, 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 asante.
I request all of us to be upstanding and clap for our chair for steering.